Secretary Power, Government of Bangladesh, Mr. Kulman Kesing, Managing Director of Nepal Electricity Authority, my colleague Renu Narangji, CEO of NBBN, Mr. Rizal Karim, Chairman BPDB, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Before I go to my formal remarks, I would take this opportunity to also convey on our behalf and behalf of the Government of India our sincere condolences at the recent floods that have caused tremendous loss of lives and damage to the property. As our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, wrote in a letter to Shri K.P. Oli, Right Honorable Prime Minister of Nepal, India stands in solidarity with the people of Nepal at this difficult time. We are also ready to extend all possible assistance as required by the Government of Nepal for its relief and reconstruction efforts. We do look forward, as in the past, to further cooperation in this effort for our peoples. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to join you this afternoon for this landmark signing ceremony of the tripartite power sales agreement. This agreement would allow export of 40 megawatt of power from Nepal to Bangladesh through the Indian grid. It is rightly so called a landmark agreement. It is the first agreement which is a new milestone for the sub-regional cooperation in energy sector in the South Asia. This development builds on the existing framework for the bilateral cooperation in power sector that already exists between India and Nepal on the one hand and India and Bangladesh on the other. In fact, the India-Nepal Joint Vision Statement on Power Sector Cooperation that the two countries agreed upon in April 2022 during the visit of then Prime Minister of Nepal, Shri Sher Bahadur Deubaji to India, had in fact anticipated such a sub-regional cooperation. The statement had affirmed that both our countries will work together to expand our cooperation in power sector to include partner countries under the BBIN framework. The last few years have seen a considerable expansion of our mutually beneficial power trade between India and Nepal, as was brought out by the presentation which preceded a little while ago. Starting from a power export from Nepal of about 30 megawatts in 2021, today Nepal can export up close to 1,000 megawatts of electricity. And as Mr. Kulman Kesing mentioned, it is exporting already about 900 megawatts. Several mechanisms have been made available to our Nepalese counterparts for allowing such a sale, including long-term agreements with our states, real-time and day-ahead markets on the Indian Energy Exchange. In the last fiscal years, Nepal has become a net exporter of power to India and thus a net revenue earner. With this new agreement in place, Nepal can, as pointed out, also export power to Bangladesh. In this regard, I would also like to share that Government of India has recently also approved that our two public sector units, Satluj Jal Vidyut Nigam, SJVN, and Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, IREDA, can infuse further equity into the Upper Karnali project, which is done by an Indian company, GMR. The companies concerned have already applied to the Investment Board of Nepal for requisite approval, which we are hopeful will come through quickly. We expect that this development will also help in promoting greater sub-regional connectivity between our three countries. For, as you are aware, GMR has, to my understanding, already concluded a power purchase agreement with the Bangladeshi side to sell up to 500 megawatts of power from this project. We hope that this development and the quick approval of IBN will lead to faster project implementation for the mutual benefit of all our countries. I would, on this occasion, also like to recall a statement by my External Affairs Minister, where he noted that India is committed to stronger sub-regional cooperation in connectivity, and in this regard, in particular in energy sector, as that offered immense opportunities for our mutual benefit. India, our minister said, will continue to take initiatives for further progressive partnerships for production, transmission, and trade in the power sector in our region. Already, two large public sector units of India, SJVN and National Hydropower Company, NHPC, are involved in the development of several projects in Nepal to realize the hydropower potential that Nepal possesses. Currently, SJVN is developing the 900 megawatt Arun 3 project, which we hope that with the support of Government of Nepal should go into operation next year sometime. We are also hopeful of starting construction on the 669 megawatt Lower Arun project. Other projects such as Arun 4 by SJVN, 750 megawatt West Seti, 450 megawatt Siti River 6 and 480 megawatt Fukot Karnali projects are being undertaken by NHPC and are at various stages of implementation. On the transmission side too, right now the bulk of power trade is happening through the 400 kilowatt Muzaffarpur-Dhalkebar line, which was built by our support through lines of credit. The current export of power to Bangladesh would also be through this line. But apart from this, there are several other transmission lines which are in progress, including the 400 kilovolt Gorakhpur-Butwal transmission line. And this would double the power transmission capacity between Nepal and India and also to Bangladesh. While we are talking about the energy sector cooperation, I thought I'll use this occasion also to brief the audience here of a significant development, another significant development in the energy sector cooperation. Earlier in the day, the Nepal Oil Corporation has signed a B2B agreement with Indian Oil Corporation for development of new oil pipelines from Siliguri to Chapa in Nepal, and from extending the existing oil pipeline between Amlekganj and Chitwan, from Amlekganj to Chitwan. There is also an agreement that Indian Oil Corporation will build two new greenfield terminals for storing oils and petroleum products in Chapa and Chitwan. These agreements are a follow-up agreement to the agreement between the two governments, which was done during Prime Minister Prachandaji's visit last year to India. I am confident, therefore, that today's agreement between these three entities would boost power sector cooperation between Nepal, India, and Bangladesh. It would also signal to investors to invest in Nepal's hydropower sector, because they would be assured of markets not just in India, but also in Bangladesh now. The agreements signed today, therefore, would lead to greater energy security between our three countries. Before I conclude, I would like to convey my sincere appreciation to the Ministry of Energy, Government of Nepal, leadership of Nepal Electricity Authority, as well as the Bangladeshi counterparts for taking initiative of concluding this agreement. Thank you very much.